In art, disaster is good, with hunger as a catalyst. I just returned from my summer studio in northern Michigan. No! Between packing and moving, I had no ability to post new videos, and frankly, I was stumped about what to make a video about. Now, I keep a document of ideas that I'm developing for future YouTube videos, but none of these felt right. This is my sketchbook from August 12th, and the note that I jotted down to start this episode, but I still had nothing. Then after 3 months away, I opened my studio door, and there, laying on the floor, is my idea. Oh, the delicious irony of synchronicity. On the 12th, I wrote here about the inversion where the bad is good and the good is bad. And stay with me, because I'm not talking about this kind of good or this kind of bad, and I'm not talking about this kind of right and this kind of wrong. What we're talking about here is how in the life of the artist, all too often, events that appear on their face to be good are bad, and events that appear to be bad are good if approached properly. Now, in February of this year, I built some wall-mounted plinths for my sculpture. My studio has plaster walls. Michigan has high humidity in the summer. There's water everywhere. Well, the plinth anchors pulled out of the wall, and 2 of my sculptures fell, smashing them into thousands of pieces. One of the sculptures is about 3 feet tall, hollow plaster, and was about $2,000 in contract labor and materials when it was fabricated 15 years ago. This was a disaster. But it points to an important dynamic in art and in life, how art and life are tied to an endless cycle of creation and destruction. But what I want to focus on instead is I want to focus on the deceptive triangular relationship between the good, the bad, and desire. More precisely, not desire so much as hunger, existential hunger. In art, disaster is good. Now, I'm in the process of explaining how hunger is both the primary catalyst and that thing that converts the bad into the good. In this context, hunger is the intense desire to achieve, succeed, or obtain, fueling persistence and determination. And how it's material gain, materialism, success in art and design that short circuits this process, that stops, stalls, arrests, or retards this process. Comfort is the enemy. The most dangerous thing for personal growth is not failure, it's success. When the artist feels like they have too much to lose, it is a wrap. It's over. By the end of this video, I'm going to explain some traps and make a few humble suggestions, and I hope these ideas relate to more than art and design. Anthony, this one is for you. I have a set of sculptures that I've been making for 20 years. I work back and forth between objects and drawings and prints and paintings, and these images appear over and over in my work. Now, I use a bunch of different processes from 3D printing, CNC, to chainsaw to fabricate the pieces. One of the smashed sculptures is perpetually in a state of decay. It's made from beeswax, dead bees, and horsehair. Now, when I wrote the script for this video, when I imagined this video, I intended to tell you quite a compelling story about a member of my direct family and how a possible career-ending disaster led to their greatest artistic triumph. Now, here's a clip. What follows is a clip from Detroit local news that led to a kind of artistic disaster.
Top story at 5, devastating testimony as an accuser takes the stand and details years of...
Not to bait and switch, but I have to leave it here. My wife, Darlene, has repeatedly reminded me that some stories, particularly when they relate to family, are not mine to tell. They belong to others. It's not my story to tell. So the best that I can do is to say that burning desire and existential hunger can chide away. Yes, chide away defeat, and that hunger can dispel ennui, can be a catalyst to convert disaster into new, more meaningful work. Okay, so what am I saying? Let's be clear. When I look over my career, the experiences of my family and much of what I have seen in a graduate design studio, I've come to realize two very important interrelated dynamics at play in the lives of some people. The first seems to be pretty simple. The life of the artist is harder than it appears from the outside, and one of the most important components of making life as an artist work over time is hunger. In my experience, the artist who can sustain a practice over a lifetime has a powerful desire to fashion of themselves something, a powerful, insatiable desire to make a space for their work. In a way, we can think of it as Busta Rhymes' "There never was a plan B," and that there is a corollary in that failure as an artist is less problematic for the long-term viability of a practice than success. Material success often makes the risk-taking necessary to make meaningful new work too dangerous. An aversion to cringe, a concern for one's legacy, and the inevitable comfort that comes from success ends the career of too many artists and designers. The other primary dynamic is the fact that the life of the artist is fraught with problems, challenges, and professional disasters, if you're doing it right. The simple key in the face of professional disaster is to double down and to forge from that defeat a new plan, a new path. Now, in my own life, as an example, my failure to push my work successfully as an independent designer in New York after I left graduate school, and the tremendous ensuing pain pushed me to embark on a risky and often cringe-inducing performance career that ignited my career. The long tendrils of my victory could be traced back to the pain and shame present in that defeat. And the cooling of my career in my early 40s, after I was no longer that new thing, pushed me to embark on a practice of publishing my own work that invested me with power not dependent on others, power that cannot be taken away from me. And finally, one of my children's greatest professional successes, the story that I only alluded to earlier, was born out of terrible professional disaster. The catalyst in all of this, the change agent in all of it, has been a relentless hunger, a desire to fashion from nothing a space and a place for meaningful work.